Reddit reports. Like, subscribe and hit the bell. If you could make one law for the entire planet, what would it say?
I'd make the Boy Scout tradition of leaving it better than you found it mandatory. So if I found $5 on the street, I would have to leave more money?
That's right, paper currency is poor people litter.
If anything, it's rich people litter.
If nothing, then it isn't litter at all.
For every hour you post on social media your political opinions, you need to spend an hour listening to the counter-argument.
How to collapse the world's finances.
Visits the Sistine Chapel. Well, I guess I could paint a little handlebar mustache on David. People like mustaches.
Logan Paul's new video, we found a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest. Time for a makeover.
Nah, you're supposed to leave it better than you found it. So he would have to bury that person's body and hang himself.
Does this also apply to relationships?
Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but photographs.
They didn't appreciate me trying to uphold this in the locker room at Planet Fitness. As an eagle, this deserves top comment, lol.
I think the problem with this is eventually we would get to a point where things couldn't get a whole lot better.
Sounds like a great problem to have.
At that point it's the solution, not a problem.
You know how judges used to have to wear those big wigs while holding court? I think they still do in some places. Well, I'd replaced it with a helicopter cap.
We had one of these hats in Club Penguin, didn't we?
I'm sure they're both there. Imagine a bunch of snobby English picks deciding on key factors in our lives in fucking helicopter caps. Political statements from government servants must be made under oath. Lying to the public is grounds for immediate removal from office.
Greater than this would be very fun to watch.
Especially because removal from office is a vague term that many countries will interpret very differently.
Politicians caught lying to the public will be immediately defenestrated.
And you wouldn't want anything nasty to happen to your fenestrates, would you? President/Emperor/Führer, it's all left to interpretation.
Furor? Do you mean Führer, or Führer?
It really doesn't seem that vague, yet somehow it ended up that way.
Defenestration is a favored tradition in some cultures that I'm personally in favor of using.
Or they'd put enough red tape around the removal process that the seat may be vacated or the term ended before anything came to fruition.
Lying is a surprisingly vague term as well. I love the idea. The devil would be in the implementation. How do you determine when a government rep is lying versus just being dumb/ill-informed? I have no way to know, but I suspect many of the retweets of fake news stories by politicians today occur because they are feeding themselves a highly biased diet of news sources and leap on anything that fits their worldview. They obviously lie and bend the truth super far, but actually nailing down an outright lie versus there was this one study done by Nowheresville College of Arts that supports my statement, and I find that highly convincing, would be very hard in practice.
The internet is a series of tubes. Come with us, Senator. Apparently you're to be stoned in the public square. Listen, if you need to explain the internet as a series of tubes, you don't deserve to make policy about the internet. Totally fine with that.
I sincerely see no problem with this. If you want to lead people or speak for them, you need to be held to an extremely high standard of behavior.
Ridiculous as your comment is, an irrational part of me really wants this to be a thing. I'm so sick of the politics of money and ignorance. Wait, we can't do that until we make weed legal federally.
Well, if they research it and find a biased study or even a flawed study, that's still research with a study to back up their claim. Especially if that's some of the only research done on the topic. This would be a highly situational law tbh.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.
I am totally most excited for Bill and Ted 3.
Good law.
Guitar solos.
Change the world, my final message, could be.
We'd love to stay, but it's a history report, not a future report.
Party on Slurms.
Hey, it's Slurms Mackenzie. Party.
Party on Wayne.
Party on Garth.
Shit.
R/username checks out.
I'd sign a bill to get this made a law. I'd sign a TED.
Together you've signed the Wild Stallions. This would cover most of things people say on this thread. Well, if you add in animals to it.
I knew in my soul this would be the top answer. First thing I thought of.
God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you. Put it in the soul of everyone.
The golden rule.
Great, Another TED Talk. I wish this was pinned everywhere in Reddit and in the world, and somehow give this an award, because this is what I want.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. The only faith worth following.
Don't piss all over the toilet seats of public bathrooms.
That's fine, I needed a shit anyway.
You're the Sith Lord.
Shitlord.
Shith Lord.
There's a special place in hell for women who hover over the toilet and then have the audacity to leave their piss all over the seat. Why do they refuse to just sit on the toilet? Also flush after using public toilets, and wash your hands please. Why is this stuff so difficult for so many adults?
I'm a guy and the amount of guys that leave the bathroom straight from the urinal without washing their hands is nasty.
This as well, every time I see it I scowl.
No one's aim is that good, it's definitely all over the floor.
Before entering somewhere, let the people exit first. Especially important during sex. Double Vagethusits would like to have a word with you. Goddamn, I am glad Reddit isn't responsible for making universal laws.
I am in love with the law made by a well-done flaky pastry.
Every time Terry's an AskReddit thread with how would you feel about a law banning underscore and everyone is in full support of it for the first hour, then someone comes in explaining why that would be a fucked up thing to do that inevitably gets to the top.
I love those people, God bless them. Don't be a dick.
Cunt it is.
Or asshole for our non-binary friends.
There are three kinds of people in this world: dicks, pussies, and assholes. The dicks are always trying to fuck the pussies and the assholes just want to shit on everyone.
But dicks also fuck assholes. The poetry of Team America never gets full credit.
Hygiene requirements for all public transportation.
Hygiene requirements everywhere. Except when home alone. I've been binging this show for days and I'll fucking finish it.
Just watch 10 episodes at the same time, nub.
The second you start sweating because you are working out, the police bust through the door and arrest you because the drip of sweat that came out your armpit is unhygienic. You spend 15 years in a maximum security penitentiary.
Literally just had to have a talk with one of my staff because of their smell. How can you constantly come to work without showering?
And conventions.
And for the people that ride them too.
The people who need them the most can't necessarily afford that every day.
That's fine for first world countries, but that would be a pretty terrible law for the rest of the world.
That just punishes homeless people.
Good job, you just made sure that homeless people won't be able to get a job. I think it's working, people start wearing masks everywhere.
Crime is illegal.
It's big brain time.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
I want to die so.
God, I wish that hot girl over there would just walk over and start fucking me.
Treat others as they would ask to be treated, unless doing so denies either party's dignity.
I like treat others how they want to be treated more.
The moon will now be referred to as menstruation master.
So the moon was the first bloodbender then.
I dislike the image you inspired in my mind of you bending to extract blood from the vagina of every woman in the 4 nations.
It's her duty now. So much for white hair.
Hey, someone's gotta do it.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh my god, does that mean all the women in the 4 nations have a cinched cycle? Yeoch.
I thought you meant Bender from Futurama and I was confused.
No, that Bender is only 30% blood.
Menstruation master moon. Period.
Greater than MMM. The last tidebender.
Don't be a dick to animals.
But what if one of them is a dick to me? Is defense dickness acceptable?
Dick fence is alright. But not on weekends after 7 p.m.
I just imagined a nice picket fence made of giant cocks.
I like this, because people are animals too, so all bases are covered. Well, until we create sentient AI at least.
High fives are the new mandatory form of introduction. It's more fun that way. Stop polluting, you morons.
You have to say, in my pants after every sentence.
You broke your own law in my pants. You're right in my pants.
There's a great joke in my pants. Shit. In my pants. Commas work better in my pants.
That sounded pretty nice in my pants.
I always wonder how these creative people keep coming up with this shit in my pants.
I just took a shit in my pants in my pants.
That's evil in my pants.
I am happy, in my pants.
Please fuck off, in my pants. This could get confusing.
This could get confusing. In my pants.
You're going to jail, Mr. In My Pants.
I love your username in my pants.
It would be awesome in my pants.
They all say that until they go in my pants.
I wanna throw a party in my pants.
Owning other humans as property is illegal.
Imagine all the people, living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer.
But I'm not the only one.
I hope someday you'll join us.
And the world will be as one.
I think this law already exists.
For the entire world, there are still countries where slavery is legal.
Slavery is illegal in every country in the world. The last country to outlaw slavery was Mauritania in 1981.
You are not allowed to report something you know to be false as news, or publicly promote purposely misleading information. Everything must be fact-checked before reporting, and opinion pieces are not allowed in print or broadcast that is interpreted as news.
Chew with your goddamned mouth shut.
I read this as chew with your goddamned mouth slut.
Sexually abusing children punishable by death.
As much as I respect this sentiment, isn't it actually dangerous to children to punish sexual abuse/child rape with death? If person A assaults a child, why take the chance of leaving the child alive so that they can rat them out? If A is going to die if they get caught for sexual assault the same that they would die if they get caught for killing a child, why not just kill them after they assault the child and leave no witnesses? That being said, I hope child predators all die a painful death.
Yeah, that's why rape charges have to be lighter than murder charges, even if rape is worse in terms of moral justification.
I probably should have said all violent crimes against children.
Agree with the sentiment. 2 problems: abusers are now motivated to kill their victims. Second, most abuse is within the family. Now the abused child testifies against a family member that results in them being executed. Pretty ugly scenario.
Also, inherent issues with the death penalty regardless of the horror of the crime.
Look at the number of oops, we got the wrong guy. 25 years later, and tell me you think the death penalty is a good idea.
Let's hope you got the right person and nobody gets framed and nobody abuses their power to legally get someone murdered. Smile, imprison them for life in the most miserable cesspit you can find, but killing someone is way too terminal. There is no margin for error, and when you inevitably mess up, saying oops won't do a whole lot of good. Besides, there will always be corrupt judges, fake evidence, etc., and now people are dying because of it.
I found my president.
For every hour you post on social media your political opinions, you need to spend an hour listening to the counter-argument.
Edit. Thanks for the silver and the long debate on a comment I just pulled out of my ass.
So if you argue that windmills do not in fact cause cancer, you would make someone spend an hour listening to the case that they do cause cancer?
If you're going to spend that much time on social media talking about how windmills don't cause cancer, then yes, I'm okay with it.
When it's literally influencing the entire world's views on nearly everything from who celebrities are blowing to whether or not windmills cause cancer, why is social media still so dismissed? Because the news wants to discredit the thing that will make them outdated.
Arguing with anti-vaxxers and flat earthers suddenly becomes much more tiring. Vaccines are mandatory with a doctor's approval. If you refuse to get your child vaccinated without valid reasons, it will be taken off you and vaccinated anyway.
Some children can't be vaccinated, so might want to refine the parameters on that one.
Oh yeah, forgot about allergies. 1 second.
Okay, I'll edit a bit more.
Yep, that's why it's important to get stuff like the flu vaccine if you are able to, even if you think you can tough it out. Herd immunity helps protect those can't get the vaccine for whatever reason. Allergies plus very weak immune system prevented my sister from getting vaccines for a lot of her childhood, so it was very important for the rest of my family to be vaccinated and try to avoid getting her sick. Even stuff like the common cold, which can't be vaccinated for since it's bacterial, not viral, would affect her harder than it would to the rest of us. No repost of this format.
Use your fucking turn signal.
Thou is required to come to my birthday. Thou does not have to bring a gift. I am just very lonely.
If you know you are contagious of a deadly virus but still go to crowded areas, you should be locked up.
Paid sick leave for everybody is the better alternative. No open mouth chewing. Kill any stink bug you come across. Hate those things.